Camera number 59 of 365 is this futuristic looking Ricoh Mirai, or however you pronounce it, M-I-R-A-I. A camera that is a fully automated camera with a few little individual things that you can change, but does require 4 AAA batteries or a single, I think it's a CRP2 battery, which is placed inside this little compartment. Let's just take the battery out. You notice there it has this very helpful little rack here that moves out of the way when we put this battery in, but stays there to allow us to put 4 AAA batteries in. So let's just put that back on. Take the lens cap off. So looking at the front, we have the infrared sensor that helps to focus, and I believe also is used to count down the self-timer. The camera features a 35mm to 135mm zoom, which is a variable focal length of 4.2 to 5.6. And you can see the liquid crystal display, which we see all the operations. But when we look through the viewfinder, we do get a green focus indicator with 2 red ones or arrows, and we also get to see the shutter speed and aperture that the camera chooses, so that's very helpful to see that through the viewfinder. Just while we're here on the back, we have an auto exposure lock that can be activated by pressing the button. And then looking to the top, we have our on, off, and also a very helpful macro function, which I use for a number of the photos that I took with this camera. And then you can see the aperture and shutter speeds and battery indicator. Also provision for a self-timer, which when you press, there's a little indicator there, and press it again and it's gone. On the right hand side, although it's an automatic exposure program camera, we can shift that program by the 2 arrows there, plus and minus. And then just above that we have a factory reset button, and then the shutter actuation. And then I can use this as a multifunction rocker that can help us to focus, but it also is used to zoom in and out. So let's just put that back off the macro, and then you can see nice. And there's an indication on the liquid crystal display that tells us what focal length we've chosen. On the left hand side there's a cover here for which, when we take it off, is for a flash power unit, which is specific to this camera, and it does feature a flash which popped up, and there's the front of the camera, rather bulky looking camera, and then the flash is just simply pushed back in. On the other side we do have this handle which can be rotated. I think it's just the 3 positions there, so you can actually hold the camera with one hand like that. And then just on the other side there is this little secret compartment that has some other features, plus and minus exposure compensation, that can also be used if we have a film that doesn't have DX coding. We can use that to change effectively our ISO. And then we have a bulb mode, film mid-roll film rewind button, continuous release, and average metering mode, because the camera does have this automatic backlit control, or as it's known, ABLC. I'm reading that from the manual, which allows for backlit subjects, so it will automatically look after that in that particular case. Just turning back the handle down, there's a button here, manual focus, and to use manual focus we have to turn the camera upside down, and there are two controls here, one for audio signal sounds, if you like, which we can turn off, and then we can have manual or automatic focusing, and by putting that we can then keep that down and then manually focus. When you're in macro mode, just while I think of it, this little rocker button does allow us to fine-tune our focus, so that's very useful. And then to put film into the camera, we simply undo the door, press the button, and then just pop the film container in. Just one note, you see the little pins there for the DX coding. We have to make sure that the film passes underneath this little marker and extends to the little green dot there. So that's how we put our film in. I won't put the film in because the film rewinds the film back into the canister, and even with mid-roll it will do the same thing, so I don't want to do that. So that's it really, a very brief review of this rather futuristic looking Ricoh, and that has been camera number 59 of 365.